Hey guys, John here coming to you with yet another Figma Avengers review. Here I have for you today Iron Man, also known as Tony Stark. So let's jump right in and have a close look at his packaging. Packaging wise, Iron Man comes in your typical Figma window style box. Of course, continuing on with the Avengers line, he has a matte, very simple box with his own unique color scheme. Of course, we have the Figma logo here, we have the Avengers logo. He's number 217, of course, with the Iron Man Mark 7, since he is in his Mark 7 suit that he appears in the Avengers movie. On the sides, at the top, and on the bottom, we have images of the figure itself, and that continues on at the back where we have some pretty cool shots of him doing some action moves with his accessories. At the bottom here, we just have some credits and warnings, I guess, and inside this packaging you get kind of this cardboard backing that you can use for display if you wish, and inside this box you get a clamshell packaging of Iron Man and his accessories, of course, with the stand and all the instructions at the bottom. So now let's jump right in and have a close look at this figure himself. So here we have Iron Man right out of the packaging, all geared up in his Mark 7 suit, and as you guys can clearly see, he is glorious. So let's jump right in and have a closer look at all of his details. Something I especially love about this figure is the overall sculpting. As you guys can see, there is so much detail, especially on the back of this figure. You can see all the intricate sculpting and details going on. You can see all the different aspects to his suit itself. It's really nicely done, especially it feels like a layered look, which I quite like. And that is from head to toe, all that beautiful molding going on. I also really like the aspect of this figure that he really looks like an actual human in a suit, like in an armored suit, whereas other toys out there of Iron Man kind of seem, he seems really disproportionate for an actual human being, and he actually looks more like a robot. So I do like that aspects of this figure. Something I'm not a huge fan of though is that his core reactor and his eyes kind of seem dull. It kind of looks like his suit is actually turned off, no one's in there, but I think they could have really used a brighter kind of plastic to liven that up a bit, so it would have looked a little bit more awesome. But something that is really awesome is the paint job. They chose to do a really shiny metallic-y paint, really bright, as you guys can see. It looks really fantastic, and he really stands out on your shelf since he is so shiny all the way from head to toe. And I think that is such a beautiful thing on this figure. The paint is a really big standout. Articulation wise, Iron Man has rotation in the head. He can look down quite a bit, he can look up quite a bit, and that is of course with the help of his neck joint that moves along with his head. That gives that great range of motion. He has these floating shoulder pieces, as you guys can see, and that really helps with the arm articulation, so he can do 360 in the actual arm itself. He can go out quite a bit. He has a bicep swivel. He has slightly over 90 degrees in the elbow. He has rotation in the hand that tilts of course as well, but that is a little bit hindered by these arm flaps, but these are a little bit rubbery, so they can be moved aside, but I wouldn't recommend you positioning his hands where this is moved for too long, since that might morph into that position forever, and that would be devastating. He has a really fantastic kind of ab swivel crunch going on. That is the best ab crunch I've seen to date. Really fantastic, and this has a floating piece in the middle here, as you guys can see, that moves along with the crunch itself, so that looks quite natural. And he also has a slit here that with all of them put together gives that fantastic crunch. He has lean back slightly, not as great as the forward, but still pretty good. He has tilting there too. He has a waist swivel as well, and this crotch piece is a floating piece as well, so that really helps with the leg articulation. So if you want to do high kicks and stuff, that really moves up and out of the way, which is awesome. He has this slightly thigh swivel, as you guys can see. It's very small, and that is in two connections. There's one up here and one down here, and he also has a knee swivel, which is slightly there as well, which is awesome, and of course the knee articulation as well. These little knee caps that he has does hinge a little, so you can cover up the actual knee joint itself, so you can push that up, but I have found that they really tend to pop off really easily, which is super annoying. He has feet articulation as well, so that tilt. He has toe articulation, and that as well gives a great pivot and swivels or rotates around. Of course, that is also helped by these rubbery pieces on the back of his legs. But I have found in certain positions, like flying positions, his legs don't tend to, there it goes, it pops off. His legs don't tend to hold its position, as you guys can see. He just falls back down because they're a little bit too heavy, which is really unfortunate. He has really great articulation, but it just doesn't really hold their positions like you would want it to. And he also does feel very fragile with all these little, really small floating pieces, like his shoulder pieces. The little rubbery pieces feel really fragile, the crotch feels fragile, and of course these little knee things that pop off, pisses me off. Height comparison compared to some other Figma Marvel heroes released thus far, Iron Man stands tallest at slightly over 6.5 inches, whereas Thor here stands 6.5, Captain America stands 6 inches, and Lonely Spider-Man stands 5.7. I think they are all in pretty great scale. Also standing next to some non-Japanese import figures, Iron Man stands in pretty good scale with these Fantastic Four released in 2005. Of course, we have Mr. Fantastic standing about 6.5 inches, the Invisible Woman standing about 6 inches, and the Thing standing about 7 inches. So I think Iron Man is overall in pretty good scale with all figures I have at least. So now let's jump right in and have a closer look at all of Iron Man's accessories. Accessories wise, Iron Man comes with a nice range of things. As you guys can clearly see here, he's modeling for you his default clenched fist that he comes packaged with, but he also gets grabbing hands, which I guess you can put Thor's hammer in his hands if you do have that Thor figure, since Iron Man doesn't have anything in his actual packet to grab. He also gets spread out fingers, which I guess can be used for ready to attack hands, while they duplicate those hands for these, which actually have their own peg that you have to insert yourself. So I guess you have to remove the one in his actual arm to put this one in, and that has the actual peg in the hand itself, which you can put these special effect pieces in, which make a nice ready to attack hand or attacking hand. And that is also used for this one, which is a flight hand. So he has straight fingers. Again, you have to remove the actual peg in his arm to insert this one. And of course, these will go along with the special effect pieces. These are for his hands. They actually have holes at the top, nice translucent kind of light orange with nice white frosting at the base or the top. I think that looks pretty decent, nothing too special. I think the orange could have been a lot more vibrant, and that is also included with these kind of ones for his feet, and they are pretty much the same thing. This one is just of a larger size, and these actually have pegs at the tip so you can insert it to the holes in his feet, and that gives a really great effect. It looks like he's about to take off. He also comes with an extra wrist peg, which I put in the Figma bag that is included. It's always nice when they give these out. And of course the default Figma stand, which is also pretty awesome. So now let's jump in and gear Iron Man up. So here we have Iron Man in his first look, and that is of course him flying in the skies with his special effect pieces. The only hard thing about this look to achieve was actually getting these pegs out. They're quite small, so you actually need quite long nails, and you need to dig in, twist and pull. It's quite scary to do, but if you do get that out of the way, everything else is quite simple. You just put these in. That's really simple. I recommend you put the special effect piece in the hand before you put the hand in the actual arm itself. Like I said before, these rubbery pieces do move out of the way, but I don't recommend you displaying him in this pose for too long, because that might morph into that position forever. And like I said before, his legs don't really hold their positions that well. I really would have liked him to be posed in this position, but then they just drop back down. They're a little bit too heavy for him, unfortunately. Other than that, he's pretty awesome. Now on to the second look. And here we have Iron Man's second look, and this is more or less the same as the first, but except we swapped out his flying hands for his kind of shooting action hands. And as you guys can see, it looks pretty fantastic, using the same effect pieces. The only gripe I have about this is that if you do want the hands to be facing straight, like this, the actual flaps themselves don't move along with the hand, so it does kind of break the illusion, but other than that, I think it looks pretty awesome. Overall, I really do love this Iron Man figure. Aesthetically, I think he's one of the best figures I have seen to date. He is gorgeous. Functionally though, he is a little bit less to be desired. It's not like he doesn't have everything there, he really does. It's just altogether, it doesn't really work. He also feels a little bit too delicate for my liking. I like to play with my toys, and this one kind of feels more like a display piece. And he also didn't come with the Tony Stark head, which I think he should have been included with. I paid a good amount of money and I think I should have got that, but unfortunately the makers didn't think so, I guess. I still highly recommend him though for any Iron Man fans, Avengers fans, superhero fans, collectors in general. And until next time, I will see you guys soon. Bye!